So it's about you figuring out what works for you, and be curious and be honest. Be honest to where you are, you know? And since it's not a linear process, you can't be in front or behind anyone or anything. It's just an ego trip when you believe, a trick of the mind, that the mind is doing towards the mind, that is happening. So just relax about it. And a really good exercise to do when you want to be curious to what is going on in your mind, it's accepting that right now you have the sense of someone. It's okay. It's okay. Accept that's how it is right now. If you don't accept it, it's fine. It's still there. So why not accept it when it's there? So if you bang into the door and you go like, oh, I'm so clumsy, then you can think, yeah, I'm that too. I'm that too. I'm also clumsy. I'm so much more. And I know that every single one of you that have seen through self, that are doing Fetter work, that are further along, you have just choked on your coffee and going like, pardon? Pardon? She wants them to say, I'm so much more. I'm that too. And please bear with me. Please bear with me. The issue that we often have when we still have hooks into desire and aversion, into the fourth and the fifth. The issues that we have roots and are stretching themselves back to this. Because even though you have seen through self, if you still have that thought about things could be different, you want something, you have ambition, you want something, or you have aversion towards someone or something, you want things to be different. If that is you, then there's still hooks back to this. And it does help if you acknowledge that. And don't feel that you're going back when you do this exercise. When you do the I'm so much more exercise. You're just acknowledging that there's something that still needs your awareness. There's something that you are fixating and forceful about. You're fixating on non-identifying. And you're forceful about it. And the whole identifying with non-identifying, it's a thing. It's a thing. So if you're further along in the Fetter work and you feel that you're stuck on the fourth and the fifth, which is about desire and ill will, all the things you want and all the things you don't want. If you're stuck there, then try this exercise. Every time you have a thought, you're curious about the thought. It's not true. It's just like every time you smell something, or every time you see something and your mind put a label on it, you can be curious about it. And every time you have a thought about someone or about a situation or about yourself, then it does dissolve the issue. If you go into the space where you can say, I'm so much more than that. I'm so much more than that. So let's say somebody cuts in front of you in traffic and you have the feeling of bastard. You get really angry. The thought, I'm so much more than this, come on, it's actually dissolving the issue because it brings awareness into the illusion. And I know there's not you, and I know there's not a hierarchy where you can be more or less than anything. But this is a trick of the mind. And the only way to dissolve it is to meet that trick of the mind that is so persistent that you still have issues with it. And it does help. It does help for you to get into the space, into the gap, where you're aware that the thought you have and the limit that you put on yourself when somebody's cutting in front of you in traffic or taking your cucumber from your cart, the thought that you have, the identifying that is happening, the caught on to a fake reality is being dissolved when you remind yourself, I'm so much more than this. And if you're further along, as soon as you think that, I'm so much more than this, then you will get in contact with that space, that waving space. Is difficult to explain, but that space of waves where there's not a you that can be more or less than what actually is. So in my experience, I have found that a lot of people that are still struggling with the fourth and fifth, with desire and ill will, by kind of circling back and indulging the thought of that someone can be angry at something else, or a situation can be annoying, or something can be tempting, it does dissolve the issue when you think, I'm so much more than this. Yeah.